Hello and welcome to this season's debut episode of IDTV, San Francisco City College's premier variety and entertainment show produced by students for students. I'm Adonica Shaw.
And I am Erishek, and today we have got a special show for you. Well, I mean, they really all are all special, but today on IDTV, we're going to take a closer look at breast.
Excuse me?
Breast cancer awareness, silly, supported by the LGBT community of San Francisco.
More on that in just a moment. Hey, Eris, did you know that the studio is here in the heart of the Mission District?
Yeah, of course I knew that. We just came here 2 weeks ago for auditions.
Right, but I think that you'll get a little different insight after you see Eric Wilson's exclusive report. Then we have our first PSA of the show produced by Greg Teets.
Greg has found a fabulous way to choose which local charity benefits when you donate to a community thrift store. And don't you just love fashion?
Sure do, and combined with charity, it's definitely a win-win. But first, let's check out some of the wonders behind the fascinating Mission District.
Here we are in the year of your Lord, 2010. That's 26 years from Orwell's apocalypse and just 2 years from the Mayans. Still no Big Brother, but Jesus coming soon. Here's a brief look back into the history of the Mission District. Not unlike the rest of the country, the Bay Area was once a flourishing habitat for wildlife and a home to native peoples. The Muwekma Ohlone had been living in the area for thousands of years before, in true imperialist fashion, Franciscan missionaries paved the way into the region. In the years after the arrival of the Franciscans, the Ohlone people became the backbone of a slave economy. True to historical trends, the Ohlone were nearly driven to extinction in a few decades. The Franciscans settled to build Mission Dolores on the shore of what was once a lagoon, smack dab in the middle of what's now the Mission District. San Francisco was becoming the epitome of manifest destiny. The discovery of gold in the region brought thousands prospecting for fortune. Almost overnight, San Francisco grew to the largest city on the West Coast. The Mission became home to German, Irish, Italian, and Polish immigrants and became an enclave for the blue-collar workforce. In the aftermath of the 1906 earthquake, the Mission was relatively untouched, making it prime real estate for businesses and people looking to rebuild. The Mission remained a predominantly white area until around the 1940s, when an influx of Latin American immigrants initiated White Scare. The majority of the white community flees from the Mission. In 1961, some genius at El Faro Taqueria wraps the normal contents of a burrito with the addition of rice, sour cream, and guacamole. The simple yet genre-defying super burrito is born. The 1970s see the advent of the Chicano art movement. Murals celebrating Latino culture enliven the neighborhood. Attracted to the diversity, creative minds begin to move in the area to cultivate culture, art, and music. During the late 90s dot-com boom, however, the neighborhood becomes a real estate commodity. As the young, white, and affluent flock to the area, the local flavor begins to lose stake. Today, the Mission is a thriving neighborhood where music, art, and culture collide. Although the threat of gentrification looms overhead, the resident community works together to keep the establishment at bay and to keep the Mission a unique and positive representation of the city as a whole.
Community thrift store started in the 80s, originally to support the AIDS community and people suffering from HIV and AIDS. And we've grown to include over 200 charities now. What I think is really unique about this thrift store is that you have the option to choose where you want the money to go. One of our local charities is La Casa de las Madres, which is San Francisco's first domestic violence shelter for women and their children. We also work with Abada Capoeira, which seeks to provide empowerment of youth. If you bring in your CDs or gently used clothing and furniture, it could help fund a dance class at Abada Capoeira. You can donate items on Sycamore Alley, which is located between 17th and 18th Street. The donation door is open every day from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. Proceeds from the sales of the items benefits the charity of your choice. We work with over 200 charities throughout the Bay Area, and all our charities and links to their websites can be found on our website, which is communitythriftsf.org.
What a great PSA. Wonderful job, Greg. Folks, we have a special guest here. It's Pablo Velez in the studio today. He's actually going to perform his story about two teams, Once Caldas from Colombia and Boca Junior from Argentina. But first, let's talk to Pablo himself. Hello, how are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you, Adonica, for having me here.
Okay, well, why don't you tell us a little bit about when you became interested in storytelling?
I started as a hobby, and then when I found the possibilities of creativity, imagination, and improvisation that storytelling has, I changed my hobby for a career.
Wonderful, wonderful. So do you think that's possibly like why you started writing your stories, because the career was so intriguing itself? And, you know, in terms of your writing, what do you want people to take away from that? What do you want them to feel from your writing?
I want people to think about the possibilities of writing and tell their own histories. Anyone can do it, and it's a really powerful experience to write your histories and to tell your history. And anyone can do it.
Wonderful, wonderful. So in the video here, you know, you see a lot of young kids, you're teaching kids. So what actually got you to start teaching others to do this? I mean, I know that you're passionate about it, but what started, you know, you getting young women, or excuse me, young children involved in this type of art? So.
I want to teach, I want people to learn the possibilities that I talked about. Like when you tell your own histories, that is a mechanism of empower yourself.
Wonderful.
And that's what I'm looking for.
Wonderful, wonderful. And finally, I have one more question. I'm sure you get it all of the time, but why do you have your stories in Spanish opposed to English?
Well, because we live in a multicultural society, and we need multicultural exposure, and tell the histories in Spanish is a way to say, to make realize that we are in a multicultural society, and we don't have to create walls or barriers for
Wonderful.
that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now we have an amazing performance. Let's take a look.
El secuestro del viejo Antonio. Goles son amores. Habíamos planeado el secuestro del viejo Antonio porque el viejo Antonio nos dijo que el mismo día de la final saldría muy temprano para la finca de su hermano. Como no tenía carro, le pedimos un bus prestado al tío de Juan Sebastián. Juan Sebastián mismo manejó el bus, en el cual recogimos al viejo Antonio muy temprano en la mañana. Ya habíamos averiguado el itinerario. El viejo Antonio se montó, le cobramos el pasaje, obviamente. Todos teníamos la cara tapada, los que habíamos hecho visita, para que no nos reconociera. Las banderas debajo de los asientos. Cuando el viejo Antonio notó que el bus no cogió por el desvío que llevaba a la finca, el viejo Antonio preguntó, ¿y a dónde vamos? Juan Sebastián, magnífico. ¡11! El viejo Antonio dijo, ¡irresponsables! ¡Me van a matar! ¡Me van a cerrar un infarto! ¡Yo no voy al estadio! ¡11! ¡11! El viejo Antonio, dándose cuenta de cuál era su destino, de los pies a la cabeza, tomó una bandera.
That was an awesome, awesome, awesome performance, Pablo.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. Now let's check out some of City College's sports with Andrea Medina in a Sports Minute.
Hey sports fans, it's your girl Andrea Medina here, and today on a Sports Minute, we'll be showcasing the City College men and women's basketball team's road to the playoffs. Luckily, I was able to grab head coach Justin LeBoff for a quick interview. So come on, let's check out these Rams in action. Tonight, I'm here live at the last home game for the City College men and women's basketball team. Currently, the women are smashing Skyline College with a score of 60-32. All-star guard Marley Rice definitely kept the fire burning against American River College with her full court pass. Monet Peoples gets the steal and lays it up for the easy two. Lady Rams victorious with a final score 88-55. Well, you guys are doing really good this season. You guys are 8-3 in conference, and you've been the head coach for 7 seasons now. What was the experience like working here at City College?
Oh, it's been great, especially with the transition of the new gym, and we've had some great teams, and you know, it's been a lot of fun.
All right, well, you had a tough loss against Ohlone last week, but playoffs are right around the corner. What can we expect for the remainder of the season?
You know, we did have a tough loss, and we're sophomore heavy, and we're going into playoffs. We're probably going to end up having the number 2 seat instead of the number 1 seat. So, not that much different there. But you know, I think the guys are ready, and as soon as we get this league behind us, which ends tonight, you know, everybody's 0-0 and going for the same thing, which is the state championships.
State championships, here we come, as number 11, Benny Rhodes, drains the 3. Deron Sims could not be touched as you make scoring points look easy. And he wasn't done yet, folks. Wait for it. Wait for it. What a great game. The women remain undefeated while the men also received the W against Redwood College 66-59. Now both teams are in the final 8 where they'll play for the coveted state title. You've been watching IDTV. I'm Andrea Medina, and this has been your Sports Minute.
Thanks, Andrea. So, have you ever picked up a copy of this fabulous magazine? If you haven't, you should. Seriously, go, take one. It's the Campus Circulated Etc. magazine that's filled with exciting articles. In our next story, producer Mineko Brand helps retell an Etc. magazine exclusive about raising a child with developmental disabilities. Check it out.
My name is Susan Buckman, and I wrote and took the photographs for the story Raising Teddy, which was in the Etc. magazine, fall 2009. There's a huge sense of accomplishment when you teach a child with a disability something new. Ted and Dana have learned nothing comes easy with Teddy. But, Ted says, the more you put into something, when you finally get a return, it's that much more rewarding. Teddy's disabilities don't fit neatly into any one category. Many people with developmental disabilities like autism require support tailored specific to their unique needs. IDTV went to the ARC of San Francisco, as well as City College's own disabled students programs and services, to get an idea of what programs are available to students with developmental disabilities.
We work with students on an individual basis. We really want to look at each student on a case-by-case basis. So we have programs that are actually taught on the community. They're community college classes with a community college instructor, but taught at the community-based organization. Golden Gate Regional Center, Creativity Explored. The ARC definitely is a very active organization in San Francisco. We may just share information, we may meet together to help reach that same goal.
Any population, you have such a wide variety of learning styles, and in this population, it's so much more extreme. Most of our artists communicate verbally. The clarity of that communication can be a lot different sometimes. We individualize a lot of the classes in order to sort of maximize what these guys will get out of it.
ก่อนให้ฟ้าช่วย The year of the tiger on Sunday, February 14, 2010, one envelope and 5 crackers. Boing!
That's a really good purple.
I decided I wanted to learn to do finger painting, and that was my favorite thing. Oh, it feels good when I paint. I get everything out when I can't think of anything to think of, I put it on paper.
I'm working for Tatiana and me and her family. That's her and her sister and her brother. Okay, you see, that's her. That's Tatiana. Again, her sister and her parents. That's Tatiana eating the Russian cake. Say sweet.
Try this color here, Joe. The ARC serves about 550 people, and these are adults with developmental disabilities and intellectual disabilities. A developmental disability is a disability that happens between birth and 18 years of age, sort of the federal terminology, and it's a disability that is going to last a lifetime.
While it's important for our clients to have a really full, enjoyable life, it's almost more important for the community, for the diversity that they bring, the different outlooks that they have, just like anyone else. So I think the community would be really missing out if our clients were not involved. We assess each person as an individual, so it really depends on what they want to learn. We sort of break it down into manageable steps to figure out what they need to do to meet that goal.
I was talking about family against it. And something against my goals. And so my instructor left me because it's them. Problem, not my problem. It's really difficult, but I need really help. The ARC will support me, and I need support from the ARC. I need.
So joining us now is Michael Condiff, co-editor of Etc. magazine. Welcome, Michael. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
So for some of our viewers out there who are unfamiliar with Etc. magazine, can you please tell us just a little bit about what it is and kind of what your involvement is with the magazine itself?
Sure. Etc. magazine is the campus circulated magazine. It was started in 1998 basically by a group of students who decided that City College needed a campus magazine. And for the first couple of issues, they kind of produced it themselves. And then the journalism department decided it needed some more sponsorship, some more backing, and the journalism department got involved. And you know, it's just grown and gotten more stylistic and more advanced journalistically. And it's won 7 or 8 straight General Excellence Awards from the state.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
It's a very quality publication.
What would you say out of all the articles that Etc. has put through with you, like what are the most interesting stories that have been put out there?
Well, in the 2 semesters that I've been involved in it, certainly the one on raising Teddy, which is sort of what the story that you guys just showed was based on, a very touching story. Dylan Gunther's cover story that we had in the fall about he's an Iraq War veteran and kind of dealing with that experience, and then you know some interesting fun stories. You know. The story about Miss Bob, the transgender music teacher at City College, another one of our cover stories last semester. You know, it's just interesting to see people brave enough, you know, courageous enough to go out and be themselves, you know, just right here at City College. You kind of think that these people, these heroes, these people that take steps in their life are other places, but they're really right here in front of you. So that's kind of what we try to show through the magazine.
Amazing. So for people who are interested in getting a copy of the magazine, how often does it come out? You know, what's the publication's frequency?
Well, it comes out once a semester. It takes a full semester to produce the magazine. You go from basically assigning the stories to writing the stories, editing the stories, getting the pictures together, designing the magazine. So it only comes out once a semester, usually in the last couple of weeks of the semester. Okay. So there'll be one coming out probably in April or May. Of this semester.
So kind of going along those lines, there's a lot of speculation for that the print media and publication industry is slowly disappearing due to the internet. How do you think this affects your magazine?
Well, we're trying to move into that genre as well. If you go online to theguardsman.com, you'll get there's a link to some of the Etc. magazine's past issues that you can get online. We haven't published a current online issue yet, but certainly we're working towards that.
And what do you think the future holds for Etc. magazine?
Oh, nothing but greater things. You've got really talented people working, you know, this semester, and it's going to be good. Everybody should check it out.
Awesome.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Definitely.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
for coming and being with us today. Now let's take a short break with a PSA from CCSF's graphics department, and when we come back, Eras will interview Cat Stevens in the studio about the LGBT Center. Don't go away.
Straight out of high school, I came to City College because I got accepted into an art college, but I didn't have enough money to go. So I've been, here in the graphic design department taking almost all the classes, and I'm almost done. You have hands-on printing and correcting color. You have hands-on drawing a logo, sketching it in and turning it digital. You have hands-on creating a website comp and seeing what it looks like on a computer. Going from a start to finished product is really like a life lesson, and it's something that you won't forget. I've also had an opportunity to become a mentor, to teach, other students like me in the same position, assignments and homework and, outside of class. So I've been becoming a mentor. I really like it, and I'm thinking about pursuing a career as a teacher because I just love to help people learn, and it's sort of my thing.
And welcome back. Joining us now is Cat Stevens, the LGBT Center's events coordinator. Thank you for being with us today. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me here.
No, thank you for coming.
Yeah.
So tell, to the people out there who don't know, tell us about the LGBT Center and what it does. And while you're talking about that, we'll take a look at a little video.
Absolutely. Well, the center provides an array of programs that we produce. We have SNAP, the San Francisco Newcomers Assistance Program, our Kids Space, our Youth Space, our Economic Development, our Transgender Economic Initiative Program, SF Team, and our Arts and Culture. So yeah, it's a busy place.
That's a lot of programs right there. Yeah.
It is.
And so, what exactly do you do?
I'm the one that keeps that all running. I coordinate all the events that happen and work with the general public as our staff to make sure that everything runs smoothly and that everything is programmed, is placed. Yeah.
Now there always seems to be some sort of gap between queer society and straight society. It's kind of like you're one or the other, and we're kind of fighting for these things and everything. What is the LGBT Center doing to bridge the gap between queer society and straight society?
That's a great question. Well, we're a place for all, really. It reflects through our programming, it reflects through our building, and it reflects through our procedures. Is that we don't just fight for the LGBT rights; we fight for human rights.
Right.
So, yeah.
And why do you think people come to San Francisco?
Well,
why is
San
San
Francisco,
Francisco the place to be? Why is it so important in this community?
Both from the history that San Francisco has had with our pioneers, and then what we're doing now of with marriage, with healthcare, with ENDA, with Don't Ask, Don't Tell. We're always on the foreground here, and we're a very welcoming city. So I believe that that's why people flock here.
Now, I know from my own coming out that there was a lot of issues. Like I knew people who got kicked out of their house when they came out to their parents because it was just not allowed in that family. So what would you say regarding the ratio of queer teens that are in San Francisco? Like, what is the LGBT Center doing to help those kids?
In our youth program is we both have a mentor there that you could show up and talk to when you first arrive. We do have our youth meal night, which happens every Tuesday from 5 to 7, which is any youth 24 and under get a hot meal, a place to feel safe, and a connection with HIV testing, with job placement, with Lyric, with other services too that are provided for the youth. We also too have queer prom, we have queer dances, and then on Monday we have Beauty and the Budget, which is a kind of a drag strip show, kind of how to help kids, dress fashionably and still feel cool. So I guess
that's awesome. Yeah. There's just so much to pick from.
Yeah.
You know what? Now we have a short video segment about Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. Let's take a peek.
Hey, my name is Sister Sarah Femme Fatale. I'm with the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, and we are here today doing Benefit for the Boob Triple D, which is it's a 5-hour cabaret to benefit the Breast Cancer Emergency Fund. And they provide emergency funding for those undergoing breast cancer treatment in the form of your utility bills, groceries, childcare while you're in treatment, whatever you need to have quality of life.
The sisters are so special because they are fearless and they are committed and they are beautiful. They never stop fundraising all year round. Benefit for the Boob obviously is their largest event that is directly benefiting us, but throughout the year, many of their events give money towards our clients. And we're actually ineligible for a lot of national funding because we don't restrict our funds to women. We serve men, women, and everyone in between, just like the sisters. So we're very honored and proud to be associated with the sisters who raise enormous critical funds for us.
And we're off!
See, my first Benefit for the Boob was here at the Wild Side, and we raised $3,891 for BCAF. The second year we did it at another venue. We had to do a set price, and we didn't do nearly as well. So this is pay as you can, if you can give $1 or $2, if you can put some pennies in the penny jar, if you can give 20, if you can give 200, whatever you can. And if not, if you can't do anything, then just support the performers. The sisters in San Francisco are known for community activism, street theater, fundraising, hospice. Whatever the community needs from us is what we try to give them. The key attributes to being a sister is you have to already be doing the work before you are even close to wearing a veil. You have to be willing to represent your community. You have to be willing to be compassionate. For me personally, it's always been very important to acknowledge the street community because they don't. Nobody will look a homeless person in the eye. So that's something that I've always done. I've always tried to be very compassionate. I've always been willing to give. And if you cannot give of yourself, then this is not for you. A lot of people can do community service, and a lot of people are willing to do community service. As a sister, you have to be willing to be on the spot. You have to be willing to stop the minute somebody says, "Sister," you have to be completely 100% accountable at all times when you have that veil on your head.
Besides glitter and love and generosity, I would say their commitment to making sure that everyone who deserves to be treated fairly is treated fairly. And in their minds, that's everyone.
The queers and the heteros can make this world a better place by joining. Period. Plain and simple. By not playing against one another. We are all human beings. We're all here to live our lives. Just live. That's it.
Just live. Wow, what a great sentiment. Thank you so much for joining us today, Kat.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Facebook me.
Absolutely.
Okay, now we have another PSA about Countercorp. Countercorp is holding a trailer contest for the annual Anti-Corporate Festival that will be coming this May. Don't go away. I mean it, seriously, don't go away. I can see you right now. I will see if you walk away. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hey man, you're always really busy over here. What are you up to?
I'm creating a trailer to help promote the 2010 Anti-Corporate Film Festival. Countercorp is holding a contest with some really sweet prizes.
This is gonna be sweet. So hey man, how can I get some more information on this trailer contest?
Let me tell you. They are looking for a 30-second trailer to promote the festival itself. Submission deadline is April 2nd, 2010. The winning entry will be posted on the Countercorp website and shown before every film at the festival in San Francisco. So go to countercorp.org for more details and prizes. All you have to do is relate to corporations in some way.
All right, man. It's on.
Welcome back, guys.
Hey, Donica. I'm sad.
You're sad. Why is that,
Well,
Erin?
because it looks like that's all the time we have for today.
Well, you know what they say.
If it's done in another zip code, it's not technically cheating.
Not really. That's a good one, though. But all good things must come to an end.
I guess. But please make sure you tune in again for our next show, Tuesday, April 20th at 11 p.m. right here on cable channel 27. And do not forget, you can also watch this episode on Sunday, March 21st at 3 p.m. on cable channel 75.
Thank you again for watching IDTV. I'm Adonica Shaw.
And I am Era Sheck.
See you next time.